Hey guys, Richie here, and welcome back to Crypto Mischief, where I talk about my favorite thing in the entire world, goddamn cryptocurrency. That's right. Okay, before we jump in quick, this is disclaimer. This video is not financial advice. I'm not your daddy. My strategies will be given in this video. They're my own. I'm just a guy sitting in a room talking about crypto. Always do your own research. Don't risk more than you're willing to lose. So we're going to talk first about the Bitcoin cycle reality. This is a reality check. I don't know if you want to hear this or not, but I'm going to get it in right. So historically, Bitcoin moves in a clean 4-year cycle. We know this, right? 2013, 2017, 2021, 2025, right? We're 4 years past the last all-time high. And this behavior of Bitcoin price and alt season is completely off script. Look around the market. Altcoins, they're bleeding out. Bitcoin dominance is ripping higher, continued to rip high. Everyone's chasing AI stocks, traditional stocks, even AI leveraged ETFs. Bitcoin miners are turning into AI data centers, and their stocks are pumping off this pivot. They're not mining Bitcoin. They're mining AI data. The Bitcoin rainbow chart, once meme gospel, is now a complete disaster. It looks nothing like previous cycles. It's flattening, breaking structure, losing reliability. And the hard numbers, the last 90 days have been totally brutal for altcoins. A gold pegged stable asset like USDC is pegged to the dollar, PAXG is pegged to the price of gold, is nearly outperforming the top 50 of all altcoins on CoinMarketCap. And SUI is sitting 49th out of 50 for worst performance in that top 50 window. And alt season, we haven't had a real alt season since last winter, and that lasted 1 week. Compare that to 2 months alt season, 2-month altcoin season in 2021. It was life-changing, really fun and amazing. Or the 1-month breakout alt season in 2022, which was also incredibly fun. The market's been dry, sentiment is flat, and you can't polish a turd. The data is the data. So we're left with two possibilities, right? We're in a weird extended cycle, or the top is already behind us and we're drifting through the denial stage. Now, I don't know which one it is, right? I have no fucking idea. I don't have a crystal ball. But I do want to say that if that was the end of this bull market, it was the worst bull market in history. It was nothing compared to the last cycle, which we went through, and entirely disappointing. And possibly that could signal not only is the game of DeFi, crypto, and earning from your crypto using the world of DeFi might be old news. Maybe there's something else to be involved in. If it is an extended cycle, then hopefully, if it is an extended cycle, you haven't dropped your bags, because that would be hard take, right? We are all at quite low positions in our portfolios from even the last bull run for some coins, right? Some coins just haven't performed at all, which is generally what can happen. We looked at last cycles. We did have coins which didn't perform when new ones arrived. This time the same thing did happen, but generally across the board, if you were in alts only or you just held Bitcoin, which one was the winner? Of course, just holding Bitcoin the whole way through the cycle probably would have made you more money than trading all these alts. So while everyone's arguing about price targets, I'm doing at the moment what actually matters, which is I'm protecting my capital and I'm earning yield. Yield that I can live off, yield that gives me passive income. That's what this channel has always been about. That's what I've always been about. If you don't know, recently I did launch a yield farm on Sui called SuiDeX, and that does give you the opportunity to yield farm with stable coins, with Bitcoin, or with high intensity meme coins as well to earn our reward token called Victory. Because when cycles get confusing, capital preservation becomes king. So let's first talk about SuiDeX and what you can do, right? In SuiDeX, we have the USDT, USDC liquidity pool. That is 2 stable coins in liquidity, which are both pegged to $1. And historically, they've always been pegged to $1 for about 5 or 6 years now. You can put them into SuiDeX and you can earn yourself incredible APRs with SuiDeX. Today on your USDC, USDT liquidity pool, you can see right here that you can earn yourself currently 120% APR paid in Victory coin from the USDC USDT pool. That is incredible yield on stablecoins, which you're just going to be holding to preserve your capital. You can also single stake USDC into SuiDeX as well. That gives you a 136% APR currently. These do depreciate faster than the LP pools, though, because there is an emission shift mechanism inside the SuiDeX to preserve the value of the reward coin, Victory. There's one catch in this. If you do want to deposit into the first LP pools, USDC and USDT, that is a 2% deposit fee and 2% withdrawal fee. So make sure that you do make that back first and then continue to compound into this pool to grow it. And there is a 4% fee into the single asset, of course, because the risk is way lower inside of the single asset. So I'll quickly show you how you can do this. So you can see here the pools. This is SuiDeX farm.suidex.org. Links are in the description for Sui Farm and SuiDeX. You can see here, this is the USDC Sui USDT pool. Sui USDT is pegged to USDT Tether, right? Here, 120%. So say you wanted to go into this pool, simply all you need to do is come to dex.suidex.org, link in the description, and you need to pick yourself up some USDC and some USDT. So you can see here, I do have some Sui in this wallet. So we will take 40 Sui, and that will then buy us 80 USDC, which will then swap on SuiDeX to get your USDC. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And you're also going to need yourself USDT. Now, currently, this is very important. We don't have liquidity for USDT on SuiDeX yet. We're slowly growing liquidity pairs. So to do that, I'm going to use Slush Wallet. Come in here to swap. I will go to Sui. I will type in USDT. It will then bring up Tether. That is the coin you want. And we will then take 40 Sui for that. Okay, next thing you want to do is come to pool, where you are going to create the pool. So you come to add liquidity now, and you're going to want to take USDC and USDT. They will be 50-50. That's right. Inside the SuiDeX, it's completely 50-50 farming. There is no range that you need to put on because you're just farming simply for the reward coin at the moment, right? We will add ranges later in development, but at the moment, straight up V2 style, 50-50. Back to the good old days of crypto, right? Where things were easy and stress was free. So these are going to hold themselves at 80 and 80 as long as historically Tether is always $1 and USDC is always $1. Fantastic stuff, right? We then come over to Sui Farm, and we come here and we click on farm. What's happened is you've been given a LP coin inside of SuiDeX. It's actually come into your wallet. If you ever want to remove that coin, you can just come to pool and remove liquidity and then just type them in here. USDT and USDC. It will then find your LP tokens right here as they are, right? So we're going to supply them in to the farm. So I'm going to go with 100% of this, which is $162. And be aware that, yes, there is a 2% deposit fee to go into this and a 2% fee to come out of it, right? That is a fee structure. From that fee, 40% is used to buy and burn our meme coin mascot, SuiTrump. 40% is turned into Sui, which is then rewarded to anyone who is in the Victory Locker, which is our single stake contract for Victory. They get rewarded 40% of all revenue from SuiDeX weekly in epochs. So if you do lock up your Victory token, you do get Sui rewards every week, as well as getting Victory coin. Read in the docs all about that. Today we're talking about farming, and we're in. So now all I need to do is come to my positions and claim my reward coin. So you'll see that populate right here at the top left. This is my new pool. We're getting, we have $159 into the pool and it's earning myself Victory. The Victory's already started ticking up. What I do generally is I come here about daily and I just pick up my Victory coin. Here you can see on home, I do at the moment, today I have $32 of Victory to pick up. So what do I do with my Victory? And how do I preserve capital inside of SuiDeX and also preserve SuiDeX, look after the farm that's going to be printing all the way through the potential bear market or the potential bull market, depending on what happens, right? If you want to continue earning, you should have a pretty responsible way of yield farming, in my opinion. You don't just want to farm and dump, because then the money printer won't last forever, right? That's basic economics. So the best way, in my opinion, to use SuiDeX is, one, tell other people about SuiDeX so that other people use it, pump your own bags, right? Number two, when you have some rewards to claim, so I'll come down, I'll claim out one of these, right? All right, here, I got $8 here, right? This is for the USDC SuiTrump pool, which we're going to be talking about as well today. So I'm going to take that Victory, right? We're going to come back over to SuiDeX. We're going to then take the Victory. So there I pulled, like, let's say Okay, I have 10,000 victory, right? So total at the moment, I have 10,000 victory, which is 17 SUI, right? Or if I want to go USDC, okay, it's $36. What do I want to do with that? So of course, I want to start compounding into my stablecoin pool because I want to continue to earn and preserve my capital while earning. And the more I compound, then the higher amount of victory coin I'm going to get every day from the share of the pool, right? So I want to turn some of this victory into USDC and USDT. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to contribute to the longevity of SuiDeX by choosing one or two options, right? First one is I could come to the token locker and decide I'm going to lock up my victory and earn victory rewards in Sui with my victory coin, right? So I'd come here, I come to lock tokens, I go to 50% of that. I would then lock it for 3 months, 1 year, or 3 years. It would get me high APR on my victory coin, rewarded in more victory, and it will also get me Sui coin every single week in an epoch, right? Second thing you can decide to do, which might be an even more bullish option for you because it's instant capital, is you come into either Sui victory pool or USDC victory pool and you stake into these pools, right? And that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to come to pool. I'm going to add liquidity. I'm going to take 5,000 victory. It's going to be 9 Sui, right? And I'm going to add that in liquidity. Coming over to the pool, Sui victory pool, 266% APR. Nice. And I'm going to add it all in. But wait, I still have 5,000 victory. How do I build up my stable bag? We're going to take 5,000. We're going to turn it into USDC. Then I'm going to go to Slush Wallet. Remember, there's no liquidity currently for USDT. That will be fixed quite soon. Don't worry about that. And then I'm going to take that USDC that I have, USDC, and we're going to turn half of it into USDT. Done. Right? We come back to pool, add liquidity now, USDT. Right? So we're going to take $9 of each one. Add liquidity, back to the farm, into the pool, and then we go with the $18. And we're done. So what I've done there is I've preserved my capital by continuing to build up my stablecoin pool with my victory rewards. I've taken half of the victory rewards and used that to continue to compound in. I took the other half and I chose to go in with the Sui victory pool. You could also choose the USDC victory pool, whatever you want to do. So there's a couple of things I've done there which are really healthy for SuiDeX. First one is I traded mostly on SuiDeX when I could, which means that the fees are going to be used to buy and burn victory, right? The next thing is that I chose to use half of my victory token to pair up into liquidity with Sui, right? And I put that into the farm. I'm going to earn on that, right? Which is great. But at the same time, I'm also contributing to the fees, which are going to be able to pay people in the victory locker and also to buy and burn SuiTrump, right? Building up this circular flywheel ecosystem, right? I did sell into USDC and USDT, but I put it back into the ecosystem, right? So what I'm doing is I'm preserving capital inside of SuiDeX. I'm now building up a stablecoin pool, which is going to continue to grow and grow. If this market does turn bearish, then at least I know that I'm not going to be losing value there, right? Fantastic stuff. And by using the economy of SuiDeX, I'm generating the fees, which are then going to be used to pay everyone who's using it through revenue, right? As I said, when cycles get confusing, capital preservation becomes king. The second thing I want to talk to you about SuiDeX is controlled exposure through SuiTrump deflation, okay? As you all know, we did create SuiTrump a year ago, and it is now deflationary. We're using 40% of the fees from SuiDeX to buy and burn SuiTrump coin. So far, over 1% of SuiTrump has been sent to the burn wallet. You can check that inside of our Telegram, where we do have a bot which is running, which follows all buy and burns. And you might be thinking, yeah, farming with stable coins is really fun, but it's a bit boring. I want the potential crazy upside of potential meme coin mania or altcoin season. And that's very understandable. I also do want that. That's where SuiTrump farming comes in on SuiDeX. As I said, SuiTrump is fully deflationary now, powered by real mechanics. 40% of all farm fees on SuiDeX go to buying and burning SuiTrump. All these actions inside of SuiDeX are shrinking the supply of SuiTrump permanently through buy and burn. We have two pools on SuiDeX for SuiTrump. There's SuiTrump.sui if you're bullish on the market. There's SuiTrump USDC as well if you are bearish on the market and you want to protect the price of SuiTrump. Your base USDC coin stays stable while deflation pushes long-term upside. It's kind of like asymmetric exposure. You can win big without taking full downside if Bitcoin nukes. So the first SuiTrump pool you're going to see is the top right. This is Sui with SuiTrump. Currently, it's got $82,000 in TVL and paying out 119% APR. Very nice APR for a very shaky time inside of DeFi, right? If you want to farm in here, you're going to need Sui and SuiTrump coin. Both of these have very great liquidity on SuiDeX, so you can buy them and pair them. Same again, you just want to come to swap, then you're going to need Sui and you're going to need SuiTrump. SuiTrump is right here, so you can grab that there and then decide what you want to do. If you do want to farm with Sui and SuiTrump, then you just come to pool, and that's where, again, we will follow our Sui and SuiTrump here, and then that's where you would just add to the pool. There you go, bada bing, bada boom. Then you have your tokens and you can deposit in. SuiTrump farming has a 1% fee in and out. Also, if you come here to the bottom, we have the new pool, which is SuiTrump USDC. This is paying out 189% APR. It does have a lower TVL of 23,000. So I think you can basically choose what strategy you have. Are you bullish on Sui? Even though we did talk about how Sui is underperforming, almost #1 underperformer of the top 50 cryptos. So it might be due a pump, but also might just be in a bear market itself, which definitely it is, right? So pairing up with USDC is actually extremely healthy for SuiTrump as well, because it does give us a stablecoin base as opposed to an underperforming base, which is SuiCoin. Currently, having both running thick is best for the project, I think. Also, if you're in here with USDC and Sui continues to go down in value past $2 to $1 to 50 cents because you're paired up with USDC, yes, SuiTrump will have terrible exposure to Sui if that did happen, but being paired to USDC will actually preserve your capital more than being paired to Sui through impermanent loss. So that's something very important to know as well. The SuiTrump USDC pool also has a deposit and withdrawal fee of 1%. So you can choose which one you want there, and these do really help the ecosystem because this is adding more buy pressure to SuiTrump, which it is our largest liquidity pair for a meme coin on SuiDeX, right? And it does add buy pressure. It adds exposure to volume of SuiDeX and all these other things. So on top of all that, I do want to announce that we do have two very exciting things coming soon for SuiDeX, which are going to be aiming at our reward coin Victory, which we do want to give much more value to, which means we need to gamify that thing. We need to make it more fun to use, more fun to engage on SuiDeX. So two things are coming up very soon. First one is SuiDeX Volume Rush. This is going to be the battle for victory. It is going to be a competitive trading campaign on SuiDeX where users battle for massive rewards, and I do mean massive rewards. And the second one will be the SuiDeX Wheel of Victory. It's going to be a gamified reward wheel which allows you to spin it to win prizes. How to get the wheel? You need to deposit into either Victory USDC or Victory Sui to get the wheel, and the prizes for that are going to be glorious. You're going to have Victory prizes, you're going to have SuiTrump prizes, you're going to have NFT prizes, you're going to have partner coin prizes to win daily with the wheel. And the only way to get the wheel on launch will be depositing into either Victory Sui or Victory USDC. This will thicken up our liquidity through gamified fun of DeFi. And that's really what we want to do at SuiDeX. We want to bring the fun back to DeFi. I want DeFi summer or DeFi winter. I want the good old days, and that's what we're going to work on achieving on SuiDeX. So that's why you should come in. Join the Telegram. The whole ethos of what we're building is that everyone can win, and that's why you might want to consider having a look at least at what we're doing. I'll leave the links in the description below. So that's the truth. I wanted to give you the harsh truth, right? We're 4 years past the Bitcoin all-time high. Altcoins are struggling. AI stocks are stealing our attention. There's no alt season. The charts look in denial, but I don't gamble. I earn stable yield, I protect my capital, and I stay deflationary with SuiTrump, and I have fun on SuiDeX. Stay sharp, stay liquid, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't get rich.